Sean. Hold
Mike?
on. Hold
Okay,
on.
okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Let me try it again. Sean,
Mike?
what is this? A crossover episode? Yowza bobowza.
Do.
Hello, Sean.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. This is What Is This? A crossover episode of BoJack Horseman podcast, where Sean and I watch BoJack Horseman, and then we talk about the funny ha-has and the sad horseman. Welcome.
Hi. My phone just made a noise.
That's great podcasting.
But it's it's done now.
I know this is your guys' first episode probably because most people start at season 3, episode 6. But here we are. We're covering today season 3, episode 6, Brrap Pew Pew.
Hey, yeah, guys, if this is your first episode, maybe not.
If you have strong feelings about abortions one way or the other, maybe don't make this your first episode. Maybe come around to us. Maybe start at episode 1. I know it's podcast tradition to start with season 3, episode 6 on most podcasts, but I promise you, starting at the beginning is probably the best way to go with this.
Yeah.
This episode is described as Diane's tweet lands Sextina Aquafina in hot water. Prankster and A-list actor Jurj Clooners gets under BoJack's skin. It has an 8.0 out of 10 on IMDb, and it aired originally on July 22nd, 2016. And Sean, I bet you're wondering, what else happened on July 22nd, 2016?
I'm going to be honest, at this point, I don't want to know.
I don't know. I think you're wondering this, and I think people who have maybe started as this being their first episode are wondering as well.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of people, like we just said, are listening to this for the first time.
Exactly. This is a very important episode for us. So here's what happened. Historical events. A man shoots and kills 9 people at the Olympia shopping mall in Munich, Germany, and then kills himself.
Man, you really started with that one this time, huh?
It's the first one on the list, Sean. I'm just going in order. Hillary Clinton announces Virginia Senator Tim Kaine as her vice presidential running mate.
Normally you end with that one.
Yeah. 2024 coupon codes of it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's an ad.
Okay, that might be the funniest bit you've done on the podcast before. I'm not gonna lie to you. That might.
Japan's Funai Electric announced they will manufacture the world's last video cassette this month.
I have such brain rot. You said blank electric, and all I could think was Shinra Electric Power Company.
Yeah, the Shinra Electric Company announced that.
Yeah.
Thomas Sutherland, American hostage, Lebanon, an academic, dies at 85. Sean, you okay?
I took a sip of a drink and then you went, Lebanon.
Ursula Franklin, German-born Canadian physicist, educator, and activist, developed archaeometry, dies at 94. And then on the music charts, Drake dominating both in the US and the UK, One Dance, featuring WizKid and Kyla. And 2024 coupon codes available. So
next time you go through these, can you do the Lebanon for each one?
Well, I only do that because they put something in brackets.
I know, but
the other ones don't put anything in brackets. Okay, here, let me do a test run. Hillary Clinton announces Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, horrible decision, as her vice presidential running mate. Was that good?
I think that works very well, in my opinion.
Japan's Funai Electric announced they will manufacture the world's last video cassette this month. This isn't news. How did this make this on this? What happened on this day? All right, so that's kind of what happened on this day. So let's get into the episode of Brrap Pew Pew. Sean, what did you think of this episode?
It was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be about. We ended last episode with you saying, hey, this covers a very controversial topic. And the first thing I thought was, This episode's about abortion, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is in fact about abortions.
There's some good like kind of twists and turns in this episode. They really go for it. Yeah, it was a good episode.
I'll say what I appreciate about this show, and I think I've said this before, is that while you can take what they're saying in the show whatever way you want, interpret it however you want, they show flaws on both sides of every argument.
Yeah.
You know, it's never just like abortions are good or abortions are bad. It's, hey, this is a nuanced conversation that everybody should have the choice to make what they want to do. But on the so-called right-wing side of it, it's like women don't deserve choices. And on the left-wing side of it, it's, hey, let's make fun of killing babies. You know what I mean? So it's like it shows how both sides can go too far to prove their point and to, you know, I believe that people should be able to make whatever decision they want. I feel like it's important that I say my stance on abortion
at the beginning
right
of the episode before we talk about what happens in this episode. Just hey guys, in case you're wondering,
it's important for me to say that I believe women should have complete control of their own bodies, and abortions are something that is up to the person. I also think just pretending like an abortion's not a big deal is silly, and people should practice safe sex and contraceptives in order to not get to that point. But once they get to that point, it is their decision to do it. That is my opinion, and I think that's a pretty balanced opinion.
I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that. It's just the people on the sides of the spectrum that make it a villainized situation there. So Sean, what's your opinion on abortion?
Well, I've been waiting for a chance to talk about.
Go ahead, let people know that you think it's.
I think you covered it perfectly.
Okay, yeah, I think we're pretty similarly aligned. Yeah. This would have been like an awkward episode to figure out that you're just like vehemently against abortions.
I'm just like. I'm just like, well, first of all, I'd like to talk about abortion. Next, can we talk about the border wall for a second?
Yeah.
You're like, whoa. You're like, wait a second. What's happening?
Sean's been like this, just like this violent right-wing guy this whole time, and I just didn't know.
I mean, look, nobody knows where I was on January 6th.
I was like, hey, I'm going to try to fit a January 6th joke in here, and you beat me to the punch, so nice work. Very good.
This is why we work so well together.
Yeah, we same brain cell. So this episode opens up where the last one closed.
With Ucker.
With Ucker. So they got away with using the F word, but not really.
Yeah.
And on the way home, Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter are having what I would assume, I've never been in this conversation, but I would assume is a pretty typical conversation when people who don't want kids have found out that someone's pregnant, right? Where they're being overly supportive of each other, but also like kind of beating around the bush, and then they finally go, "Hey, just on the count of 3, say what you want." And they both say abortion, but Mr. Peanut Butter says have an abortion, and she just says abortion, and he goes, "Oh man, we didn't say the same thing."
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, we're starting from the same point, so the tension here isn't gonna come from where I was kind of thinking, because like. Mr. Peanut Butter kind of seems like the guy that would say, no, I want to go through with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clear what Diane was going to want, right? Just knowing Diane. So I was like, oh God, what's going to happen with that? But the fact that pretty early on in the episode, it sets it straight of like, no, look, they're on the same page here, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it seems like obviously there's conversations that we weren't privy to that they've talked about this quite a bit, which is good. You know, that's more healthy than you'd expect out of them, right?
Absolutely.
You'd expect like them to have maybe that conclusion, but it was a conclusion Diane came to, like assuming, and he's like, well, actually, I want kids, you know, but no, they have had this discussion. They do not want kids. He's very supportive.
Yeah.
We cut into the episode proper.
I think the next thing is the exhausting road to the Oscars, which is so good.
Yes, a Ryan Seacrest type brings us into the exhausting road to the Oscars. And we get, kind of the who's who of who's up for the best actor award. Leading up to this.
It's a very topical joke, but they do say like best actors for feature films and Vines.
yes, and Vines. I forgot the Vines.
Yeah.
But there's Bread Poot. There's shit. It's Matt Damon, but what Malt.
I don't remember.
Like Malt Demon or something like that. So they're like Matt or I don't remember what it is, but and then there's Lerner de Carpri. They just like, and then there's obviously Jurj Clooners, who's a big focus of this episode, and then BoJack, and Jurj wins this particular award for the Nazi that played Yahtzee.
Jesus Christ.
Which is just fucking funny. The Haberdasher's Peanut is the movie that Lerner de Capricorn is in, and I like that. Shit, what Bread Poot is in, like something to do with AIDS. It's like it's fuck. Hold on, I have to look this up because it's gonna drive me nuts. City of AIDS.
Oh,
City of AIDS is the name.
Right.
Oh, it's Mitt Derman is Matt Damon's.
Oh,
fake
Mitt
name
Derman.
too.
That's a good one.
Mitt Derman. But yeah, so so that's pretty funny. Jurj Clooners wins. We go to the after party, and BoJack is there with Anna, who tells him like, "Hey, this is how this works. Like, you're gonna end up winning the big one." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna win." He's being typical BoJack.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No." And then she has to go tell A.O. Scott how great BoJack is, and she goes, "Hey, yo, Scott!" And I just think that's a funny bit. And BoJack, Todd, I believe Todd walks up at this point. I don't have notes for this episode, full disclosure. So if I kind of ramble through the episode and get stuff wrong, just yell at me later. But Todd walks up and says Todd things. I don't remember.
I don't think he says to it. Full disclosure, it's also been a week since I watched this episode.
Oh my god, you didn't watch it again?
No, I didn't watch it again. But I do remember it very well. I've got lots of notes.
Okay.
I do know that when she leaves, she goes, "I gotta go tell A.O. Scott how great you are."
I just said that, Sean.
Oh, did you?
Okay, I literally just said that bit. Sean.
Did you really?
Yeah, I yelled it. Sean.
Yeah. I didn't hear it.
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't hear it.
What were you doing?
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I'm editing this out. This is embarrassing.
I didn't hear it.
I yelled A.O. Scott.
I think I was so focused on how excited I was for the A.O. Scott bit
that when I said the A.O. Scott bit, you ignored it?
I just missed it.
Oh my god.
I've been thinking about the A.O. Scott bit all week.
Okay, I remember what happens now that you fucking pissed me off.
See, I vamped for time for you.
Yeah, good job. So Diane is there, and Diane is tweeting because that's her job.
Yeah.
And she tweets, "Shut up, BoJack," on some celebrity's name.
Yeah.
Who I don't remember, but BoJack knows that makes sense. Or "I hate you, BoJack," or whatever it is. And he goes, "Yeah, she doesn't like me very much. It makes sense."
Yeah.
And then BoJack specifically goes, "No, tell me what crawled up your butt has made a home and then is going to die there." And she goes, "I'm getting an abortion." And he's like, "Oh, I remember I've paid a lot of women to get abortions. Hopefully they actually did that and not just take my money." And they're like, well, okay. But then
no.
Princess Carolyn walks up and she accidentally tweeted, "I'm getting an abortion" on the Twitter of Sextina Aquafina.
Yeah.
Who we've met in previous episodes, who is a dolphin teenage pop star. And so this obviously not a good thing for that. I believe we cut to Tom Jumbo Grumbo.
Yep. From MSNBC.
From MSNBC.
Which I wrote down, I missed him. When he showed up, I was like, oh, it's him.
And we get Tom Srant. And he's like, "Tom, does that say Tom Srant?" Don't look at her, Randy. This is on you. Classic Tom Jumbo Grumbo bit. And then I think we're at the office with Princess Carolyn and Diane, and they're waiting on the arrival of Sextina Aquafina, and Princess Carolyn is concerned that she's one of the celebrities keeping them afloat. And if so, if they get fired, they're in trouble. But she tells the guy, hey, great job on buying that house. We are definitely not in trouble. We are in trouble. Sextina shows up and throws her 6 layers of clothing on different people at different times.
She says that she had to cut short. Or no, she says that when this all happened, she was in the middle of giving a performance for Gaddafi's cousin.
Yes. She was in the middle of performing her hit song Left Tit for Gaddafi's cousin. And then everybody started staring at her. And
Gaddafi's cousin.
And she got on the boat that they had to turn into a car to get her here to fire somebody. And Diane's like, well, that's me. And she goes, you're fired, glasses.
Yeah.
But as Diane's going to tweet an apology, it's starting to blow up. And very funnily, Taylor Swift, who, while being a big celebrity then, is one of the most famous people in the world now, tweeted
somehow
that
more famous now than when she was then. It's kind of crazy to think about.
It really is, because I think if somebody wasn't thinking about the time period, they'd go, oh yeah, that makes sense that Taylor Swift tweeting that would be a big deal. But it's so much more of a big deal now.
Which is she's just been so huge for so long that it's crazy to think that.
Yeah.
It's somehow even more of a big deal.
Like them in the next breath saying Nicki Minaj tweeted hard eyes emoji, that made more sense then.
Yeah.
Like that. They were similar in popularity.
Now Nicki Minaj is kind of weird.
Well,
have you seen Nicki Minaj? I think it's Nicki Minaj. That's just I don't know. I keep seeing people say Nicki Minaj is beef with everybody.
Yeah, she's got some stuff that she's going through.
Okay.
You gotta give Nicki some slack.
You gotta give Nicki some slack.
Yeah, cut Nicki some slack. It's
close personal friend Nicki.
It's hard being a celebrity out there and being like a sex icon. And
okay.
Being it's hard being everything that Nicki is in the spotlight.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah. There's a BuzzFeed list or something that's like top 15 celebrities who should have had abortions 16.
Yeah, I'd like to see
that list.
I want to know who BuzzFeed thought should have been aborted.
Yeah.
So
Mike, why don't you name your top 5 celebrities who should have had abortions 16?
Here's the thing. No. No, thank you. I will decline. To even think of an answer.
Okay.
So because she's trending so big, they get the idea of, well, let's say that I am getting an abortion. And
man, what a terrible idea.
Yeah. And Diane's definitely against it. And she's doing and finally, Princess Carolyn's like, Diane, take the yes. And she's like, okay, we're going to make you the face of the pro-choice movement. Let's get you educated. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And I think we go to the doctors, right?
Yeah, and they do a pretty good bit about and it's only more relevant now, right? But even at the time, there's some the argument on this topic has always been weirdly people act like you go to a doctor and they're like, hey, you want an abortion? Yeah. They're handing it out like it's fucking candy or something.
Right.
And they do a pretty good bit here where the doctor's like, I am legally required to tell you that in 1 month your puppy has a favorite color and that color may be blue.
Yeah. Well, and it adds this extra layer of them being puppies because Mr. Peanut Butter's a dog, right?
Yeah.
And that makes it even funnier.
And there's this thing about you have to read about this very sad this very sad thing about about abortions. And then Mr. Peanut Butter's like, don't worry, Diane, I'll do it with you. I'll support you. And he's like, she has to do it by herself.
He's like, I have terrible news, Diane.
Yeah.
But they're gonna make her watch puppy videos. They're gonna make her, basically the doctor is very rude in trying to get her to not get an abortion because those are the laws.
Yeah.
And Sextina's there with him just to kind of learn the process because she's, Diane's actually getting an abortion. Mm-hmm. So then I believe we're on the road to the Oscars, the exhausting long road to the Oscars again.
Yes.
And we have Leonard Maltin's pretty good awards, basically. And this one goes to Brrap. So Brrap wins for City of AIDS. Congratulations, Brrap.
Yeah.
And we cut to the same bar again where the after party is again. And Todd's there, and BoJack meets Jurj Clooners, voiced by Jay Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And Jurj is, a prankster.
He's an old guy who loves jokes,
a trickster,
just like God.
Yeah. That sounds like God to me. He's a trickster. Todd walks up to him and goes, "Hey, my friend Keith lives on your couch."
Yeah.
And he goes, Keith? Tell him to clean up his shit. Oh, that sounds just like Keith. But then BoJack kind of tells Todd to buzz off by looking for his own shadow, and he goes, "It was here a second."
Yeah.
So they have a conversation where BoJack's like, "Hey, I really loved you in the Nazi that plays Yahtzee. What was it like playing a war criminal?" He goes, "I don't see him as a war criminal, just a guy with a funny accent." It's like, holy shit, that's funny. And then he kind of goes, "Yeah, I see how this goes. You won last night. Brrap won this tonight. And then I win the next one." He goes, "Oh yeah, you're not winning, bud. You're the fifth guy." And this is gonna sound silly coming out of my mouth, but Jurj, Brrap, Mitt, these are names. Capricorn, that's a name. And it's maybe the funniest fucking joke they've ever written because they're just clearly all not names.
Yeah.
It fucking kills me every time I watch. Like, these are names. The Capricorn is a name. Yeah. It's not a name. And he goes, "You're the fifth guy." And then he gets him with the hand buzzer shake, and BoJack's pretty sad. You can tell that he was told that by Jurj. And then we're back to the Sextina stuff, and
well, before that, there's just a tiny little joke that I really like, where I think it's like the guy, like somebody who works at the venue or something is like, "I've got to get ready for the OCD Image Awards." Yeah. They really want the place clean or something like
that. Yeah, that's a good bit. I think we just go back to Tom Jumbo Grumbo, right? And he has 3 white men in bow ties to talk about abortions.
Well, it's first they play the song, or they don't play it. They like reveal that the song is coming.
Do they?
I don't think they play it yet.
I thought that happened on MSNBC. Like she shows Tom Grumbo Jumbo.
Yeah, I thought she announced it. I didn't think that like they sang it yet.
No, I think that's the same time. I think first it's the 3 white guys in bow ties who all say just absolutely incredibly awful things.
I have "Get That Fetus, Kill That Fetus" written down before the white men in bow ties.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure she's being interviewed, and then she's like,
"Oh yeah, she's being interviewed by a Ryan Seacrest type." Yes, yeah. Yes. You're right. I was conflating it with later in the episode.
Yeah.
So she reveals the song "Brrap Brrap Pew Pew." Some of the lyrics of this song: "I'm a baby killer. Baby killing makes me horny.
Jesus Christ.
Got an alien in my stomach. Gonna remove it like Sigourney."
Duh.
We get the "Get That Fetus, Kill That Fetus" line from Patrick Carney.
Jesus Christ.
The drummer of the Black Keys, who's involved in a lot of music on the show. And he's the Zebra Man.
Also known for being married to somebody, right? Yeah.
He was married to Michelle Branch, yeah.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter Michelle Branch.
Mostly known for that, right?
And the joke Sean's making is before the show, I was talking about how I clicked on him on IMDb, and his bio says he's known for composing Battleship, I Am Number 4, and Venom, and he's married to Michelle Branch. No, he's known for being the drummer of the Black Keys, guys. Like, that's what he's known for. That's crazy. That's not in his IMDb profile. Anyway, so we get the song, and Diane is just disgusted by it. And this is what I was talking about, where like they show how both sides of an argument can be just terrible. And it's like, this is, and yes, Diane's taking it too seriously, but this is the kind of stuff that someone on the other side would latch onto and go, see, they're marginalizing it, right?
This is pretty bad, especially coming from somebody who's not getting an abortion.
Yes.
Is like, this is pretty bad.
And it's very it's very just not tasteful, I guess would be the best way to put it.
I do really love you said like the next bit with Tom on MSNBC saying this diverse panel of white men in bow tie.
Yeah, because then we get the other side of it where they're and what one guy the most insane thing is one guy, and his title, it just says an actual doctor, and he says abortions aren't even necessary. I've heard of a technique where women, if they don't want a pregnancy, can simply just turn the fetus into gas and fart it out. And Tom goes, oh, interesting. Where have you heard about this intriguing fart out theory? And he goes, I don't know, the Bible? And shrugs. That's so fucking funny.
They talk about how people are saying this is NBD, which is not BD,
not BD.
Meaning BD Wong.
I forgot about not
which
BD.
BD Wong is stand-in for big deal, so NBD is no big deal.
Yeah, he somehow goes back to what the actual meaning is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then the first guy just says something like, if I was faced with a pregnancy, would I put everything in my career on hold to have a baby? Absolutely, I would. And I can say that because I'll never have to make that decision, so I'm unbiased.
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck, this is so funny. But like sad, because this is like, while this is an outlandish version of this is basically what people say.
It's also like the white guy in bow tie aesthetic is so specific to these kinds of people.
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is. Like, I've had like things that, in my life that I've had to dress formally for. Mm-hmm. For example, the MDAs, right?
Yeah.
And people will always be like, you should wear a bow tie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, absolutely not. Do you know who wears bow ties? Those kind of people. I'm not wearing a bow tie.
What, you think I'm going to Fox News? No way.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm not going to wear a bow tie. Oh, but it'd be cute. No, I'm not wearing a fucking bow tie. I think this is a good time for me to bring up the trivia of the week here, which is not something we normally do, but I'm going to. So, there are 3 points of trivia. One is about how the Sextina Aquafina voice actress was replaced, because Aisha Tyler decided she couldn't due to personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
Another one is naming the song "Brrap Brrap Pew Pew" is a nod to T-Pain and Lil Wayne's song "Bang Bang Pow Pow."
Ah, okay.
But then there's this one, which has 4 thumbs down and no thumbs up.
Okay.
And I think when I read it, you'll understand. Sextina Aquafina is based on a woman that Raphael Bob Waxberg and Lisa Hannah Walt knew in high school. She was a fan of Sarah Lynn growing up and listened to her music. She says that she has sex for pleasure because she's a dolphin, which is true for real-life dolphins.
What?
So, this should have been like 3 facts or 2 facts.
Yeah.
Because the first fact is that this is based on a woman that they knew in high school. Stop. That's where the fact ends. Because then they start to talk about Sextina, the character facts.
Yeah.
And they don't make a distinction. So it's like, so I'm reading it like, wait, this girl they knew in high school was a fan of Sarah Lynn from the TV show, and that she has sex for pleasure because she's a dolphin? They knew a dolphin in high school? So yeah, whoever did that trivia fact of the day, you suck. Anyway.
I mean,
and I forgot to mention, Sean, earlier.
Yeah, I was about to bring this up too.
Edvis did not review this episode.
Yeah.
There are only 2 reviews on this episode, and Edvis did not. But don't worry, Edvis did review the next episode. I peeked ahead and looked. So
Edvis will return.
Edvis
in
will
Avengers
return
Endgame.
in Avengers Endgame. He just maybe this was just too touchy of a subject for Edvis. You know, I respect.
Yeah.
I respect it.
That's why this episode's never gonna air, right?
Yeah. This oh, we lost the recording, guys.
Oh shit!
I'm a dolphin dollface, bitches in my crawl space. Have abortions sometimes? No, I'ma have abortions always. Anyway, let's continue with the episode.
Yeah, so they're in Bojack's limousine.
Oh, no. This is what happens. So he's watching the MSNBC with the white men.
Yeah.
Because then he goes, he's doing a segue where he goes, Jurj Clooners made audiences cry in The Nazi That Killed Yahtzee, but his most latest prank will make you think. And then it's Bojack's living room, and he goes, I hate Jurj. And he's going to plan a prank where he pretends to be a limousine driver and then reveals that it's him and hits Jurj with a bat.
Great prank.
That's the prank. And Todd goes, that's a bad prank. And he goes, that's the point, because pranks are stupid. Meanwhile, Todd is like eating a pizza with like hot dogs on it. And he folds the whole pizza up like a taco and then goes to take a bite and the hot dogs squeeze out. It's an insane. I think sometimes the animators were just like, what can I have Todd do in this scene that's unrelated to anything that's going on? That's just absolutely insane. I'm here for it.
Todd's living his life, you know?
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. So then we get to the limousine where Bojack has a mustache on and he's doing like a vague Eastern European accent. And Jurj gets in the car and he goes, well, hold on, my publicist is on the way. And dun, dun, dun. Anna Spanakovita is also Jurj's publicist.
Yeah, this was surprising, very interesting. They kind of get into like, I was starting to wonder, they talk about like how she represents all.
So she says something early in the episode, which we didn't cover, where she says, 9 out of the last 10 years, my clients have won Best Actor.
Yeah.
And Bojack makes a comment, if you were landing planes, 9 out of 10 is not something you would brag about.
Yeah.
But we find out, or it's implied, that one of the reasons she wins is because she represents multiple Best Actor clients.
And I was wondering if this is some like actual like criticism that they have of Hollywood. Like, because I could totally see this being like, because like we're not in, you know, we don't know, but I could definitely see agents selling themselves on like, my people always win awards every year. Right. My clients win awards. It's like, well, I guess if you represent everybody, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. So one of my favorite little bits is Bojack sees her get in and he goes, shit. And she goes, what was that driver? And he goes, Auschwitz. Auschwitz. You were in the Nazi that played Yahtzee. Oh my God. And so he starts driving, and Jurj wants him to stop at a Rite Aid to get toilet paper for his tushy. And Anna's just like, do as he says. And then Bojack's like very nervous, obviously. So he's like driving. She's like, you do not have to talk. Like, she's being very mean to the driver. We get this fun shot where as their limo was going one way, Aquafina Sextina's pink Hummer limo was going the other way. And Diane and Princess Carolyn and Sextina are in the Hummer. And it's revealed that off frame, Mr. Peanut Butter's sitting there with a balloon that says, it's a boy, but boy is crossed out and abortion is written in the spot. Which is just absolutely insane. So they're talking about how Diane's upset because she feels like she's kind of trivializing the whole process of getting an abortion with her song, and Princess Carolyn is arguing with Diane, and Sextina is arguing with Diane, but Diane, Diane makes a different gun noise, like kapow. Yeah. And they're all just like, no, it's like this, brat, brat, pew, pew. And all 3 of them make gun noises. And it cuts back to Mr. Peanut Butter and goes, can you guys stop making gun noises? It's scary. And it fucking killed me. But I think Diane gets through to her at the end because she says, hey, you have only one, people care about you right now, and you only have one chance to make this like a positive message, and you don't want to wait till it's too late. And she's kind of like, oh. And that's when she goes on MSNBC with Tom Gumbo Jumbo, and he goes, can I get a brat pew pew for the people at home? And she goes, abortions are serious business, Tom. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And she announces that she's going to have her abortion live on television.
Jesus Christ.
Mind you, she's not pregnant.
No. They're like, we're going to do the special effects and everything. We're going to get...
Yeah, so we cut to the office, and they're like, how are you going to do that? And she goes, we can Argo it.
Yeah, which is like, that's not what that movie's about.
Yeah, Princess Carolyn's like, yeah, we can Argo it. And that's not what Argo's about. But Diane is vehemently against this, very upset. She wants to, she's arguing with Princess Carolyn. And then Princess Carolyn kind of makes it personal here.
Mm-hmm.
And goes, hey, I'm so sorry that you're so fertile and in a loving sexual relationship and you don't want a family. That must be so tough for you.
Yeah, I was not expecting that from her. That was very interesting.
And so Sextina's like, I'm going to leave because this isn't about me anymore. And Diane, is like, do you have something you want to say to me? And she goes, I'm not going to let you ruin my business because, you're not good enough at this job to be looked down on it. And she walks out saying it's bullshit, and she's like, it's all bullshit, so they have this argument. We cut back to the limousine, which is just full of things that Jurj wanted to stop for. And they're finally at the awards show, and he goes, hey, can we make one more stop? I forgot my wife's at home, please. And she's like, the man said please, Bojack. Or not Bojack, the driver. And the driver's like, that's it, I'm done. He rips off the mustache. And they're shocked that it's Bojack, which is just absolutely insane because he just wore a mustache. And he starts yelling at Anna and saying, the only reason you win is because you represent multiple people. And she goes, publicists have multiple clients, Bojack. This isn't new. And he goes, not mine. You're fired.
Yeah, get fucked.
Yeah, so he fires Anna. One thing that happens during this that I skipped over is Bojack explains the prank, and Jurj goes, it's very convoluted, which is the sign of a good prank. Well played. He's like, no, it's not a good prank. But he fires Anna and says, get out of the limo. I have to go pick up a bachelorette party, and puts on a slut hat.
I love that, like, he got really into this. Like,
yeah, to get to do the prank, he signed up to actually drive limousine for people.
Yeah.
He didn't just do it. Yeah. He probably had to get the limo, right? They don't just let you rent limos. You got to have a chauffeur's license, Which I guess he'd need that to do the job too. But so then we cut back to the abortion clinic where Diane is going to get the abortion. Mr. Peanut Butter has his balloon. And one of my favorite things, and I think they've shown this we've been in this office before, and there's a poster in the back with a hamster on a sandwich, and it says, don't eat your children. Because I don't know if you know this, but hamsters, if they feel like is something off with their offspring, they will suffocate them in their mouths.
That's crazy.
So I experienced this personally because we had hamsters that had babies. We didn't know they were pregnant. We just had multiple hamsters when I was a kid, and they had babies, and my mom took the babies out and like washed them off because they were birthed, and when we put them back in, because they smelled like human, the mom started suffocating all of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah,
she started just putting them in her mouth and suffocating them, and we were like, what the fuck is she doing? And then we like got them out of there because it was like, holy fuck,
that's insane.
Isn't it wild?
Yes.
And I'm sure there's a more technical reason for why they do it. That's how it was explained to me at the time when I was a kid, and I haven't like looked into it more,
Yeah.
But that poster's that's a really like, you have to know about hamsters to get that joke, and I mean,
there's a lot
of
jokes like that in Bojack where you need to very specifically know some obscure fact about an animal.
Yeah. So they're sitting down, and Diane's talking about how upset she is about she's gonna fake the abortion, and she's saying, you know what I'll do? I'll go on the news and reveal. I'll call them out and show everybody that it's fake. And she says Sextina Aquafina, and there's a girl sitting next to her who goes, oh, you know Sextina Aquafina?
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, I work with her. She goes, her music is so cool. It makes me feel, like I can do anything. And basically reveals to Diane that because Sextina is able to joke about the abortion, that it made it easier for her to get the abortion. And so Diane kind of has this like change of heart moment during that time because of how it affected this young girl.
Yeah.
Um, I think we're back at Bojack's house now at night.
Yeah, because Todd is there, right?
No, I don't think
Not
Todd's
yet.
there. I think
that's
Anna Spanakovida's there.
Right, this is when she comes back, and she yes.
So she's in the dark, and she lights a cigarette, and she's like, basically reveals to him, like, hey, the way you treated me, I liked it.
Like, yeah, it gets very strange.
I fired Jurj, or I didn't fire Jurj. I stopped working for Jurj. You're my only client. We're going to win together. And Bojack starts to, like, go 180 on this and go, oh, my God, that's so much pressure. Someone's stepping on my windpipe. And she grabs his cock.
Yeah.
And it's implied that she starts jerking him off.
Yeah.
And that's when she talks about, I liked the way that you fired me. It reminded me that I work for you, and I liked that, and we're going to win, and blah, blah, blah. But then she squeezes too hard and goes, if you try to screw me over again, that's not going to be good. And he's like, oh, okay. And she goes, all right, see you tomorrow, and leaves. And so that's kind of concerning for the future of their working relationship.
Very, very concerning.
Very concerning. And I think that's it. I think that's a wrap on Bojack for the episode.
Yes.
That's where his story ends for this episode. But then we go after post-abortion. Diane is with Princess Carolyn, and they're watching the live abortion. And
Jesus.
It's she's like, wow, that was actually pretty tasteful. Princess Carolyn asks Diane how she feels, and she goes, physically not great, but I feel okay. Everybody there was so much younger than me. And, and Princess Carolyn's like, you don't have to explain anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of made up in that moment.
Yeah.
But then as that's happening, they get a call from Sextina who says, hey, by the way, I'm a dolphin that has sex for pleasure, and I'm pregnant, and I want to keep it. So then they immediately have to start spinning how they're going to explain that to everybody and send her away and film music videos throughout early on and release them throughout the year and all that stuff. So the hype machine the PR machine starts rolling again.
And they'll say at the end of it all that she adopted the kid.
Yes, because people love babies.
Insane.
Yeah. That's the end of the episode. So
I wasn't
expecting
episode. This when I start. I mean, I was kind of expecting it, but I was expecting it to deal with abortion. I wasn't expecting all the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, they, like I said, they do a good job of kind of criticizing both sides of something, but getting to the heart of the matter is that it's, however we decide to deal with these things is just human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one should be made to feel any certain way about it, about their own life choices and how they deal with those.
It's all very personal, and
right. It really.
I think they do a good job of displaying that through Diane and Princess Carolyn's interactions as well throughout the episode.
Well, and because we get, you spend the whole episode not really thinking about Princess Carolyn's perspective on it. She's just the agent. She's just trying to do what's right for her job, right? And then you get a little glimpse into, oh, well, maybe she's a little jealous and upset that Diane is having this abortion because she wishes she could be in that position, right?
Yeah.
And so you get a little bit of that, and so it's much more nuanced than what you would expect from this cartoon. And that's the mission statement of BoJack Horseman in general, All right, should we do categories?
Sure. What's your favorite animal-based joke?
Probably the hamster thing, because it was
the hamster thing is good.
It unlocks a memory for me that yeah.
This is really fucked up. There's something about at 1 month your puppy has a favorite color and that color may be blue that just, I don't know why it made me laugh so hard when they said it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Favorite bit overall?
I gotta go with the setup of all those actors not being their real names and having like nonsense names for them to go, these are names. Like that I think that's so fucking well done.
I love Tom's bits with MSNBC throughout the episode.
Yeah, like, Tom's good. If there's an episode that Tom's on, I enjoy it typically.
Yeah. And favorite quote of the episode?
I
don't have a specific quote for this one.
All right, I will just quote a lyric from the song here that I haven't said yet. I think about my child's heartbeat, and oh, it makes me weep. I hope and pray to God my little fetus has a soul, because I want it to feel pain when I eject it from my hole.
Oh my God.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. I didn't write down the exact quote, but my favorite quote is the thing about Gaddafi's cousin.
Yes, that's a good one too. All right.
Man, I'm glad you went first so that I could kind of take us back a little bit afterwards, after that.
Next episode is called Stop the Presses, Season 3, Episode 7. Todd builds a giant papier-mâché Todd head. A customer service rep gives Bojack some good advice when he tries to cancel his newspaper subscription.
I can't... What?
Yeah, I'll read it again for you. Todd builds a giant papier-mâché Todd head.
Uh-huh.
A customer service rep gives Bojack some good advice when he tries to cancel his newspaper subscription.
Somehow the Todd head is the most sane thing in that.
This is a very unique episode. I will say that. The way they structure it, it's you know how sometimes sitcoms will like do like this is an episode like this is like a crazy like storytelling device for this episode. It's kind of one of those. It's an 8.3 out of 10.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's rated better than this one we just watched.
Well, yeah, but I have a feeling this one's rating is probably not super genuine.
Why do you say that? You think people
are... You know, people... It was a touchy subject, you know?
Do you think that a lot of people who would be offended by this would watch BoJack Horseman?
That's a good question, actually. But here's my question as well. Do you think that it matters if they watched it or not?
Well, I think, I guess, you know, not in the way, you know, podcasts, they have the stigma of season 3, episode 6 being the first episode, but you don't really do that with shows. It's just a podcast thing. So I don't know that people would know that it's even about that.
I think it's possible, but I think there's a not zero chance that there are some people that have never seen an episode of BoJack Horseman in their life that rated this very low because of the subject matter. I just don't even know what's happening in it. But that's just how the internet works. Maybe
I just don't think people
thing.
would know that it was about that without watching the show.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my argument. And yeah, I know the internet's different now where people like search out that stuff. I don't think this was happening in 2016 in the same way. We'll see you guys next episode for Stop the Presses. It's going to be a fun one. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Sean, where can people find you if they want to see what else you're doing?
I'm on Twitter at Sean_AFK.
And I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitter at SpikeGhetti Bros and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Suck a dick, dumb shits.
Bye.